Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the March 14th, 2017 AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I'm very happy to be here with you, and I hope you feel the same. I am very excited that I guess today it is going to be cool in Orlando, and I know all of you are probably, most of you are not happy that we're not getting the brunt of this weather. And I definitely sympathize. I spent many years in Colorado and many blizzards. So actually, you probably won't care that I would give you this, but I would love to be in a blizzard right now. It is pretty cool, I think. And my daughter, she doesn't remember seeing snow, but she was a couple years old when we left Tennessee, and it had snowed, but she just doesn't remember it. So she would definitely be excited to be up there where the snow is as well. So anyway, let's see what's going on in astrology, and then we'll talk about what's going on with Mercury and Venus. And let me see, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Mercury just went into Aries. Yeah, so now we're not as bogged down by that Piscean watery energy, and it's going to be a little bit lighter, and we're definitely going to want to take some action. And the beauty is that Mars is in Taurus now, and Mars in Taurus means that we can take action on money matters, which I know a lot of people want to know when the money's coming. And because Taurus is good with money, so if you have any planets in Taurus, generally you're good with money. And it's interesting though, Saturn in Taurus can mean restriction of money, but it's also somebody who's very aware of it and spends a lot of time focused on it. I think I've mentioned this in the past. I have 3 family members who have Saturn in Taurus, and every one of them are very into money and economics. My son goes to college, a liberal arts college, and he's going to be studying economics. And I saw it in his chart. I'm like, this kid's an entrepreneur. He's got a ton of Aquarius and Saturn in Taurus. He's going to be a business owner. So anybody who has that Taurus energy is very aware of money and the value of money. So Mars in it, Mars is taking action and efforting and creating something, actually, because Aries, I don't know that I've said this very often, but Aries likes to build things, and Taurus, they like to build money. So they also like beauty and aesthetics. And so all of those attributes of someone with Mars in Taurus also bleed out onto us when Mars is in Taurus. And it kind of highlights that energy in the sky. So whether or not we're aware of astrology, we're going to be geared more towards that type of energy and business, much more so. And definitely, I've been thinking this week about when Uranus gets into Taurus, and I probably should do a whole show on that, but because it was on my mind, I want to say, what I see coming with that. I definitely think that we're going to be much more aware of our diets when Uranus goes into Taurus, which is 2018. And I think that monetary systems are going to move from, and actually probably what's going on right now with Trump is going to increase what's coming, which is states and local businesses and local marketing is what's going to be more prominent, because Uranus is much more about autonomy and autonomy of the people. When it moves into Taurus, it's about money and property, more like estates and, large scale ownership of financial endeavors. So wealth and beauty and aesthetics and art and fashion and how we think of our appearance, all of that is going to be shifting and changing. And because Aquarius is technological, it's going to add a technological aspect, but it's also going to add to technology and earth energy and bring out more connection to technology and growing cycles and things like that. So probably computerized systems, which I know are already there, probably, watering on, using computers to water crops and things like that. But I think it's going to even go to the next level. Um, Online dating is probably going to go to the next level too, probably more video dating, or, having groups of people out there. Maybe there's something like this. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But having a video picture or movie, like people get online and their videos and all lined up, kind of like when you do a GoToMeeting, and then you're going to see everybody in real time, and then you can like click on them and have a conversation, which I think there's, I know there's one where you kind of do that speed dating idea, but it's not, it's just like a social thing. I don't know that it's geared towards dating yet, where someone pops up and then you talk to them and move on, and it's like randomizing who you talk to. That kind of thing will be more in our society and growing as a trend. But definitely Uranus moving into Taurus is going to cause a lot more awareness about diet, because it rules agriculture. And so we're going to see kind of an increase in what we eat and what chemicals are in the foods we eat. I think at the same time, the interesting thing is it creates a rise in that kind of scientific connection to agriculture, but it also creates the awareness, which means society is going to be more conscientious about the chemicals going into our food. And it will seem like there are more chemicals, but really what we're going to see is that we're more aware of them, because Uranus is curious. The energy of Uranus is the curiosity person, the person who's always seeking answers and information. So when it goes into Taurus, we're going to seek more information about our diets and about how things are grown agriculturally. The seed industry will be affected. We're going to just be much more aware of agriculture and our food and our diet. So right now with Mars in Taurus, pay attention to what's going on with agriculture, with the stock market, with monetary systems. All that is going to just be reinforced when Uranus gets into Taurus, and it's going to be much more of a trend as opposed to an awareness or a blip on the radar for a month or however long Mars is in Taurus, which actually is right around a month. Let me just give you the exact date. So it just went in on the 11th, and it will be there, Mars will be there till the 22nd of April. So it's really just about a month that Mars is in Taurus. And I'm definitely going to see some interesting playing with words and truth after the 22nd of April, because Mars in Gemini is dualistic. So we've got that coming in. So Mercury in Aries Mercury tends to be more of a generic kind of asexual energy. It's electronic, it's electrical, it's mental, it's left brain. And in the fire sign of Aries, we're going to find more passion around our thoughts, more passion around our words, and more probably road rage, because Mercury also rules transportation. So, yeah, we've got this huge blizzard, and I can guarantee you the people waiting in the airports are not going to be happy with what's going on, and they're probably going to be angry and expressive, not just like, I'm going to be upset and then I'll keep it to myself. Or when Mercury was in Pisces, there was much more the energy of like, oh, well, it's how things go. Not now. Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries, Uranus in Aries, they're ready to do battle. And so we're going to speak up. We're going to say things under the guise of speaking under our breath, but it's going to be loud enough for people to hear, and people are going to be reacting to that. And opinions are not going to be silent for this next month and a half. They're going to be vocal and physical, because Aries energy, the expression of irritation through Aries is very physical, and punching, hitting, kicking, that kind of thing. They want to, like boxers are under this energy, and anything that's expressing out into the physical world, because like, just as an example, Mercury and say Virgo. Virgo will have nervous energy when Mercury is there, and the way they express it is through chattering. They chatter, 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 and Gemini can do the same. So Mercury in Virgo expresses and transmutes the energy they feel through talking. When Mercury gets into Aries, obviously, they're going to want to bring it into the physical body and do something that expresses something, like the blood is affected. So having your blood pressure go up is connected to this. And we may find that our blood pressure goes up for the next month and a half because of this energy, because Aries also rules the blood. So, yeah, this is what we've got. And then also Aries rules marketing and sales. So definitely sales and selling things is going to be, now is a great time. You know, if you're going to put something up on Etsy, do it now. Venus is retrograde. She's coming up on Mercury as Mercury moves forward. They will meet, I believe, later this week. I had all these dates highlighted in my calendar. And I think, yeah, Mercury meets Venus on Saturday. So there will be lots of passion and probably lots of sex going on Saturday. And then we also have the moon in Sagittarius, which just fuels that fire. So Venus is at 10 degrees retrograde. And, of course, Venus is going backwards. And let's see when she gets back into Pisces. I think it was, no, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Let's see here. 4th of April. So she spends the rest of this month going retrograde. And then she gets back into Pisces the beginning of April, which means even though Mars is in Taurus, Venus in Pisces is going to kind of make things go really slow through April. You're going to find there's probably mudslides and flooding through April. So mark my words on that one. That's when all the flooding, because you know, Venus in Pisces, she wants to be in water. She's only there for just under 2 weeks, and then she goes direct on the 15th. So 9 days she's going to be in Pisces, but actually she'll be in Pisces through the 29th, but she'll be retrograde in Pisces until the 15th of April. So about the whole month of April she'll be there, with the exception maybe, looks like 4 or 5 days. And so most of April she's just going to have her way with the April showers. It will be an April shower month. And then Mars in Taurus, mudslides, could be other things, but that's a really big part of it, because all that water is going to wash away all the loose dirt that the fires have been creating while there's been all this fire energy. And let's see what else we have. Uranus I've talked about. So Uranus is opposing Jupiter at 21. So Jupiter's at 21 retrograde Libra. Moon is at 17 Libra. Well, I did this at 10:42, so it's half an hour ago. Let me see what it's doing now. That's really strange. I just had a flash of Chinese food go through my brain. I don't know why I had that. But hey, I'll share it with you. Maybe somebody listening is wanting Chinese food. So, yeah, okay, so we've got Jupiter-Moon conjunction. So, again, it's this intense opposition of romantic/relational energy. And there was something else that popped up this week in my brain, actually yesterday. I'm trying to remember what it was. Libra, because I always say relationships, but Libra also is social work and compassion and connectedness to society and charity, things like that. Librarians, peace, quiet, and the beauty of music as well, because Venus rules Libra. So Jupiter in Libra means that Jupiter is answering to Venus in Aries. So both Jupiter and Venus are retrograde right now, and they're in opposite signs. So it does create that stress, that, tension. So we'll be feeling that. Uranus rules inclement weather. Jupiter in an air sign is a lot of air energy and passion related to that. Mars in Taurus is earth, so there's also it brings the weather down to Earth. It brings it on an Earth plane as opposed to high electrical stuff. It could be some lightning, but the Mars in Taurus is much more close to the Earth, so that's the blizzard, the snow blowing across the Earth. But as opposed to more, high lightning and, I live in Florida, so I've had amazing video of lightning going through the clouds and back and forth. So that's also a really strong Uranus energy. And then now that Mercury is also in the same sign as Uranus, probably another month of really strong storms or electrical energy, electrical outages. I'm sorry to say, if you're flying, Jupiter rules transportation by air. So it's going to definitely affect that. Moon, probably this is the peak today because the moon is joining up with Jupiter as far as the inclement weather affecting everybody. The moon is expansive. Even though it's waning, it's very still full in the sky. I saw it this morning. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, coming up on Jupiter, it's affecting the travel. And then after moon gets past Jupiter, it can actually start to, release some of the tension amongst people. Again, Libra versus Aries. So it's me versus we. And we're not really cooperative right now. And usually I like to look at oppositions as synergistic, where each contributes something. But because we have Uranus direct and Jupiter retrograde, and Jupiter is also squaring Pluto, we're not getting as much of that. We're getting a lot of contention right now. So let's see. Then we have, I talked about all that. So we're going to go over to Saturn. Still at 27 in the sky, squaring Sun, within 3 degrees of squaring the Sun. So in about 3 days, because Sun's at 24, Saturn's at 27. In about 3 days, Sun is going to be squaring Saturn, and I did highlight that one here. I thought, hang on, Sun, where'd you go? Maybe it's a little bit longer than that. Yeah. Oh, no, I thought I saw it, but I didn't. Hang on, I'm going to have to go to a different ephemeris. Why is this not marked in my daily ephemeris? That's odd. Okay, so Saturn and Sun. Sun hits 27 on the 18th, so Saturday. And I don't see it here. That's really odd. Okay, so Saturn and the Sun, which means, because everybody asks, what does that mean? It means that there's a strong energy around musicians and another passing of an elderly musician or someone in the arts of some sort. Pisces energy is art, poetry, storytelling, could be someone associated with movies. Pisces is definitely movie energy, and Saturn is the energy of musicians and comedians. So people in the arts, there's someone, again, it's the end of a story. Pisces is wrapping up the story, ego, sense of self at the last degrees of the last line of the zodiac, squaring Sagittarius, which is energy of transition. Saturn is karma and restriction. So that's definitely definitely another, I'm going to say definitely. I'm sure that somebody's going to transition this weekend that's in the arts. And then we have Pisces Neptune at 12 degrees, and let's see what he's in a semi-square to semi-square to I'm sorry, I had a mind book there. Mercury and Venus right now, actually more Venus. So that can mean that there is difficulty, I would say, with someone, a woman with ideas and ideals that do not mesh, that may not be in cooperation yet, but will be when Venus goes back direct. So right now there's some hidden information, there's some deep emotional energy, and my friend who is going to Afghanistan, his wife is having to cope with him leaving at the end of the month. So that energy is kind of like really deep emotional energy, and that is what this feels like. It's that, separating, long distance, long term, square to Saturn and Sagittarius. So that is the energy of a separation of distance. Pluto at 19 Capricorn, sextile to the Sun. So this is also the energy of the weather, because we have water and earth. So it's going to be flooding and frozen earth, because Capricorn is the freezing. So that really is the blizzard, in my opinion. And Pluto also squares Jupiter moon today. So kind of was in the stars, so to speak. All the big storms, they're always oppositions and squares between water and air energy, and things that affect large quantities of people, which would be Pluto, Uranus, Saturn. Jupiter does too, but Jupiter does affect people. It takes 2 years for Jupiter to go through a sign, or a year, a little over a year. So he takes his time going through the energy, and so we feel it a little bit more, and he has a chance to dig his heels in. Anyway, that's all for that. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to check out here and what's coming up. Moon enters Scorpio on Wednesday. I'm sorry, I got a little stuff here. I was out petting the cat before the show, so I have a little bit of stuffiness from that. And then St. Patrick's Day. Friday is St. Patrick's Day. Wow. I didn't even, and it's like so quick. And then there's also a sextile between the moon and Pluto on Friday, and a trine between the moon and sun on Friday, and the moon enters Sagittarius at 11 p.m. So definitely some party energy if you make it past 11 Eastern. Good party time on Friday. And it's a Friday St. Patrick's Day. So for once in a while, we actually got a celebration day on a Friday night, which, it's going to be crazy when that happens. So anything else? Mercury is conjunct Venus on Saturday. So communication of ideas around what the self needs. And then just some other smaller moon energy. And then let's see if there's anything here. Spring equinox on the 20th. And next Tuesday is my daughter's 16th birthday. So my little Aries girl. Very exciting. So yeah, pretty much a quiet week. We're going to have the equinox. Sun enters Aries at 6:29 a.m. on the 20th, 3:29 a.m. Pacific time. And that's Eastern, the first one. So let's see how much time we have here, and then I think I'm going to go to a quick break, and then I'll just take an early break, and then we'll take all our calls. If you would like to get a reading, call in at 347-994-3365, and I'll take calls after the break. And if you want a reading and you're in the queue, but you don't know that you have to press 1 to make sure I know you want a question answered, please press 1, and we'll be right back. was nice. And you are listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. And my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you are interested in getting a private reading from me, you can do so by going to astrologerangel.com. That is my website. And you can also check out my art if you would like, and that's at shelleyoverton.com. So welcome back. We're going to take some calls here, and I'm going to real quick open up my files for my readings so that I don't get caught unawares. And we'll answer a call. Hi, 651. How are you?
Hi, it's Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Good to talk to you.
Yes, I'm to you. What's up?
I would like to see what you see for a man has come back into my life from my life in 2001. Venus retrograde, right?
Right.
But he, in the 5 years that we were together, he was addicted to crack cocaine and
oh my goodness,
a lot of stealing from me, and has kind of, you know, his energy has been kind of running in the background, kind of, or at least some kind of like a background computer program. I wouldn't say it was an antivirus program, maybe malware.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he contacted me through Messenger on Facebook last Sunday, and so we had been texting. And his birthday is January 31st.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
It's 1956, if I remember correctly, and he was born in Minneapolis. I don't have a date of birth, but
a time, you mean?
Yeah, time. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I don't have
we'll
a
do
time.
A sunrise chart.
Yeah,
and you said Minneapolis?
I'm believing it was Minneapolis. That's where he grew up as a kid.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you can look at both charts and see if there's something vortexing there or whatever, but any insight about that. I mean, he did apologize early on in the texting. He said, "I know I betrayed yours and your son's trust, and I'm sorry for causing any harm."
Okay.
Which is huge.
Yeah. I mean, you know, who doesn't want an apology from someone who's done us wrong, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's good. I mean, yeah, there may still be hurt from it.
A lot of hurt, because, like, I mean, over the weekend and stuff, it's like, you know, I'm experiencing the nervousness. I finally said, you know, like he was supposed to call on Friday, and we were supposed to talk in person, and I'm glad that didn't happen, you know,
right.
But the nervousness, it's like, because when he left in 2001, when I realized that the last episode with him, he had been stealing my son's DVDs while my son was in Alaska, which really did a number on my relationship with my son. But
I'm sorry.
The realization, you know, the heavy realization of just how deep and manipulative and violating his thieving really was.
Right.
He did turn himself in at one point on a debit card where he cleaned up my bank accounts, because I said, if you don't turn yourself in, I'm not going to be able to collect my money from the insurance company. So he did turn himself in, and that was another time that I was involved with getting him back in prison too. But anyway, he is talking about, you know, that he's a very grateful man today, and that it is a miracle that we are texting. And you know, I want to say, you have no idea what a miracle it is that I'm even giving you the time of day to text with you.
Exactly. Well,
you know, but it did feel good to get the apology, because back in the day there was never any acknowledgement of doing any wrongdoing other than that.
Right.
So,
well, it's interesting. His chart, looking at his chart for a sunrise chart, he's got Jupiter coming up in October on his Neptune. Neptune is addiction, and Scorpio, Neptune and Scorpio at 0 degrees, he definitely is going to be aware of his own stuff. Jupiter expands awareness. It also can expand some of the behavior, but Jupiter, it's going to be like, it is a truth teller on some level. It wants to say, hey, look what I found. So he's getting those exposed. Saturn goes in at the end of the year, like the week of Christmas, into Capricorn, which will be in positive aspect to his Neptune. And that's actually helping him get back on his feet probably when that comes. And right now, Saturn late degrees Sagittarius is bringing about, I'm guessing he's also bipolar. He's got a Saturn in Sagittarius and Mars in Sagittarius. So, that can incline extreme behavior. If not bipolar, it's extreme behavior, or like, people who like to travel the world catching the biggest waves, that kind of behavior, So they need adrenaline rushes. And then Pluto, in this chart, Pluto just went into his 12th house, which is also digging up a lot of fears and a lot of old patterns that he's had. And so I'm sure he's going through that. And let's see, you said 56, right?
I'm believing it was 56 because in 57 I looked up a police report, and in 57 he had been picked up on. No, in 2013 he had been picked up on a warrant, and it said that he was 57 at that time. So that makes him 61-ish, which makes 56. So.
Okay. Well, Mercury in his chart is at 1 degree Aquarius. Chiron's in Aquarius and Sun's in Aquarius, which makes him erratic. Very difficult. I mean, he's a genius, but it's that kind of ADD energy where, and I can say this, people, I have a ton of Aquarius and Virgo in my chart, so I have a very high level of that kind of, my mind works like that. It's just high electrical energy. So he can blow things up when he leaves the situation. He also has the ruling planet of all that Aquarius in Cancer. Uranus is in Cancer in his chart, which means he directs it towards home life and probably is more of a vagabond. He doesn't stick around very long because Uranus in Cancer means that you need constant stimulation in your home environment and you need the change. So that can be there. He has Venus in Pisces, and Neptune is approaching that. It's within 5 degrees of his Venus. So it is an addictive personality.
Okay.
And, he's got that. So, I'm sorry I had to go through that, but I think his chart I think he's probably starting at this age to recognize that the patterns are not going to be good for him. Maybe finally, and especially when Saturn gets to Capricorn, he's changing the people in his environment that he identifies with, and I think he's kind of reining in some of the extreme behavior on that level. That being said, a couple of years from now, when Jupiter hits his Sagittarius, definitely he has got talent. I don't know if he's ever used it, but he has talents that affect people. Like he could, Saturn in Sagittarius is a musician or somebody who travels for a living in some capacity, or, travel industry, hospitality industry, entertainment industry, all that. And he definitely could is he a musician?
No, he's not. I think he's working as a cook, which him having still having a job. He said something about 2 years of having to file 2 years of taxes, and he had a truck, and he's on his third bicycle. It sounds like he's working. It feels like maybe he might be sober a year.
Well, good for him.
Maybe.
Everybody
I don't know.
deserves a chance to turn his life around.
Directly, are you sober? But I did say, I'm concerned. There's stuff coming up here for me that I might need to say, and I would be concerned about sending you off back into that demon crack. And he said, no, there's no worries there. I'm a very grateful man today.
Oh, so that sounds like he's kind of rounded the bend. And I can tell you, I knew someone who was a crackhead, and it's not a pretty road.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
don't
well, even
want to.
When he left in 2001, when I kicked him out, and I said, "You have to go. You got to go. You got to go." Spirit said to me, "Okay, he's got a long, hard road ahead of him, and you're not going to see him for a long time."
Oh, yeah.
And but there's I was always getting like calls from different police departments and looking, the law looking for him, and every once in a while
I would say
so he's never really been I mean, it hasn't been a lot of input into my life, but there's definitely been, through the years, there's always been something that pops up every couple years or something. It's like, yeah, he's still around and they're still looking for him.
Well, I understand having relationships like that. I've definitely had a few in my life where you know somebody and it's like you can't mesh, and they're someone who comes through to teach you something. And
oh yeah, he's a teacher. He's like my second greatest teacher after my son.
Yeah. But interesting, in his chart, you both have a 27-degree connection in your chart, and that's a late wrapping up energy. It's like finishing off a story in this life, a karmic story, because Saturn is karma. So you have Saturn at 27 Libra, and he has Saturn at 1 degree Sagittarius, but currently Saturn's in the sky at 27 Sagittarius. So, I mean, honestly, that right there is a positive thing for you because it's in positive aspect to your natal Saturn. So it's like a positive karmic connection. But his chart, definitely, he has something major coming in, and he has a major life transition coming in where he had to. It's like, if you don't pay attention to this, you will get the louder version of this. It's not going to be pretty. So let me just find it. Hang on a second. I have so many charts open here. There it is. Okay, yeah, he's got Saturn and Sagittarius transiting and Pluto at 27 Leo in his chart, so they're trine. But as I read charts, the trine definitely can kick up something that is difficult to deal with, and then it can give you a positive reward on the other side of it, but it's going to take something before it gives something. So he's going through it. Saturn is ownership, and he has a 1 degree Saturn in his chart, which means that he has that new energy. It's like, oh, this is all new. The extreme behavior is new to me. And then the N degree Saturn is like, okay, now we've gone through all the degrees of that sign over the last 2.5 years, and is this where you want to be? He just had a second Saturn return when Saturn went into Sagittarius a couple of years ago, and so now he's having to see the culmination of that behavior. And at the same time, he has Venus at 17 Pisces, which is that addictive behavior, but Chiron is at 24 Pisces, which squares Saturn transiting in his chart and also in conjuncts his Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. So he's got a lot of heavy aspects. No matter what rising sign he has, there's a lot of heavy aspects going on with desire nature, and he has to pay attention to that and really own up to some of the behavior now in his chart. So, and
it sounds like he like I said, him making the apology and even, taking ownership of, I could have been a better example for your son and things, that. I said,
he was the best person he could be at the time.
They're sincere, are huge about taking accountability.
Yeah, he might want to call your son and apologize.
Well, I told him, I said in the texting, I said, if you see my son, you need to go the other direction because my son will probably beat him to death, and I don't want that for either one of them. But I said you could write him a letter if you are sincere about making an amend to him. He said, I want.
Definitely. It sounds like he's maybe working a 12-step program, and definitely if he could say something to your son so your son could get past his own resentment and anger, would be tremendous for him.
It would be
for your son.
My son is.
Yeah, and if this guy could do that, if you talk to him again, reinforce that, like, please, or even have him send it to you if you don't want to give your son's address to him. Have him send it to you, and you can pass it on.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Okay, fun time.
Interesting stuff. But for you, let me just look here real quick at what you've got going on. So Jupiter's on your Neptune, which is also, Jupiter's 2 degrees off of your Neptune retrograde. So you're having to go through some of those issues. And then because you have a 19-degree cusp on the 8th to 9th house, which is right where your Neptune is, it's the cusp ending relationships and going into the next phase, into a learning phase before you go into the career segment. but Jupiter just went out of your house of relationships, and now it's coming back in. So that right there, and it's on Neptune. It's within 2 degrees of your Neptune, which is your addiction, your relationship addiction. That's one of the symbols of Neptune in Libra is, where are you addicted, or where do you have blind spots with relationships? And it's in the Sagittarius house, and he has Sagittarius strong in his chart. So you kind of resonate to some of that behavior. So, this is the next, let me see, what do we March? The next 6 months will be a resolution of some, and, this, I've been talking for weeks about the relationship idea that we're changing our relationships. We're really going through all the stuff that we were addicted to, our behaviors around relationships that relate to our parents. How do we interact with relationships as a reflection of our dynamic with our parents? What have we done in the past, especially with Neptune and Libra? You've been hit with that whole, what is the karmic story? And Jupiter within 2 degrees, he already went over your Neptune, and then he's going to go back forward. So, that story won't necessarily resolve until after Jupiter goes back forward over that degree. And that will be, hang on, he gets really far back. He gets up to 13 before he goes direct again. So he'll be there at the end of August. So you'll go back over that.
Process. Wow.
Yeah, it is a process. Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, because that's what Jupiter retrograde in Libra and also Venus back into Pisces is. The two together are saying, listen, you've had relationships for all these years. You've had this or that issue with them. Yes. Right now, over the course of the last 6 months and over the course of the next 6 months is the finite time to resolve old karmic stories that we've had around relationships, whether it's our parents, whether it's our partner, mostly partners. I've noticed it's a lot about relationship and partner, but it does resonate to parents. And for you specifically, because your house of your father is the 8th house, your father is the 7th and yours is the 8th. So this is mom, and there's also moon right up there. So there's something connected to a dynamic with your mother that you're having to address, and this is somebody who reflects that dynamic with you. Now, with that, you also natally have moon in the house of your father. But for this issue, it's more mom, I think. You have sun in Libra, and moon is right there in Libra, and it's also in the 8th house. So, yeah. But look at it, see what you can trace down. So.
And take my time. It's like somebody last night said, well, I want you to approach us with an open mind, but we don't want your brains to fall out. It's like, I'm not giving the key to the house away.
That's so funny. That's hysterical. Yeah. So, well, thanks for the call, and, good luck. Let me know. Keep in touch. Let me know how that goes. Remind me, because I may not remember, but I may.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay.
All right.
Take care, Linda. Bye.
You have a great day.
You too. Okay. Let's take another call. Hi, 407. How are you?
I'm doing good.
What's your name?
This is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
You've spoken to me before from Orlando.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, you enjoying the windy weather, the windy overcast weather?
Yeah, actually, it's hardly ever like this, so it's kind of a nice change.
Yeah. Okay, let me just see here. Okay, you said that there it is. I just didn't put in okay, it's April 24th?
Yes.
Okay, hang on one second. I'm just going to add part of your area code and first 3 numbers so I can pick you out quicker next time. Okay, what can I do for you today?
Okay, so long story short, I ended up leaving my job, and now I'm selling my house.
Awesome.
So whatever, I had a lead on a job that I thought was pretty promising, but I sent them the resume last Monday, and I checked last Friday, and she said, oh, yeah, we're still interested. We're just busy, and I'm trying to see if anything's going to go well with that. If whatever you think might happen first, selling the house or getting the job.
Selling the house or getting a job. Let's see. Well, the house has some emotional issues. So, in other words, you need to resolve some of your internal issues to be able to let it go before I think that's going to sell. And the job looks pretty good. You have Mars in Taurus now. Mars just went over your Mercury, which was probably talking to them about the job. And I think tomorrow or the next day, it joins up with your Sun. So that's pretty powerful. Let me look. Okay. You've got a 4-degree Sun in Taurus. So hang on.
I have my Taurus in Taurus.
Yeah, it is. It's all up there in your house of organizations and you know, it's technically, I learned it as the house of friendship. I don't think of that as a house of friendship. I think of it as more business coworkers and, you know, peer group.
Yeah, I think of it kind of like networking.
Yeah, it's more like that. And then the 5th house is much more about friendship, personal friendships. So, hang on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to focus in. Have you been feeling the energy, feeling a little scattered and, you know, like dreamy lately with all the Pisces?
Yeah, a little bit. Like my dreams have been much more vivid.
I have all mine too.
Intense and random things coming up in my dreams, and yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah, well, on the 16th, which is Thursday, you will have this energy right there, so the Mars will be on Sun. And then not long after that, Saturday, so the very end of the week is much better for hearing back from them. Let me see, Venus is coming up on Mercury also. So what kind of business is this? Is it something in marketing or money, Aries or Taurus?
I did graphics and marketing for the real estate industry, and I just left there. And what I'm going to do now is more, it's still in real estate, but it's more standard desk job title work, things like that, pulling titles, deeds. Okay.
So, yeah, actually when Mercury gets to 29 is pretty good too. I mean, you've got a couple of different dates that arise that you could potentially hear something. Mercury hitting Mars at the end degrees of Aries, but you have a natal 29-degree Mars in Aries, which is like about as far into Aries as you can get without being Taurus. So that happens the end of the month. Let me see. Yeah, it's the very last day of March 31st, which is going to be a really powerful weekend, by the way. I can't remember exactly why, but hang on, let me look it up. I mentioned it last week, the last 29th, actually. So let me look up and see what that is. Well, there's a Mercury trine to Saturn, which is really good for job also. And then Mars will be right there on your, Mercury will be on your Mars. So I would say, yeah, you're going to hear something. If you don't hear something this week, let me see when Mercury joins on, I just think Mercury joining Venus on Saturday is probably going to be something. And it probably also means that, I mean, are you potentially taking a reduction of pay?
Potentially. I was a director before, so I was doing pretty well. And I think I probably would start maybe a couple dollars less, but not a huge reduction.
Okay, good. Venus retrograde is kind of like pulling back the money, so it would be like, not as much as you had before. So I think that you have the ability to get a promotion in this job after Venus goes back and gets to that point and then moves forward. So you're looking to see, that's the energy you're looking for, is for Venus to get past 10 degrees, which is May 15th. Okay. So, yeah, asking for a raise after then is going to be more fortuitous for you. And also, probably early June would be good as well, when Venus comes up on your Mars in the house of money from career. Literally, I mean, it would be the 6th of June would be the exact day that your Venus joins. And see, normally, this is interesting, normally you look, if planets are at the end degree of something, it means that it's already a done deal. And that's in your natal chart. So where it would maybe normally be a done deal for everybody else, is actually going to manifest for you. And then immediately after, Venus goes into Taurus, which is about money. So I would say if you do take this job and they offer it and you take it, definitely I think you have potential to get more money in the summer. If not, and you wait and get another one, the end of what did I say, April? No, end of March, and then also early April and into May are going to be good for you to get more money if that's what you're looking for. And if you're in this job, you can get more money by asking. So as far as, Moon and Jupiter are right there together, which is also selling your house. But if you did sell your house, it could mean that it isn't necessarily a comfortable fit with the seller, especially with Jupiter and Venus both retrograde right now. So,
we have an offer right now, but the sellers are investors.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know how it is here. There's so many more houses for rent than for sale.
Yeah.
And, this is a kind of a small, modern, like a more modest single-family home. It's a smaller single-family home, so that it makes sense that investors are going to buy this smaller house to rent it out. Because that's
right.
Like I said, that's the offer we have, and my agent's like, you're going to get a lot of offers like that because of the area I'm in and the size of the house and everything.
Well, have you thought of renting it out yourself?
I have, but me, it's not only my decision. My husband doesn't like that idea at all because he doesn't want to be chained to the house and having to deal with every,
right.
If you're renting it and the water heater breaks, you got to fix that. You got to.
Right. Well,
he kind of wants to cut it off and be done with it.
I understand. I mean, if you are considering, if there is any inkling of a consideration of it, you could also get tax breaks. And, but I agree. I mean, personally, I know that I think the housing market's going to go down at the end of the year when Saturn gets to Capricorn again. That's big for a cooling of real estate. Just like when Pluto went from Sagittarius into Capricorn, we're going to hit that point, and I think it's going to be like everybody's going to have to, like all the people who did the dishonest things are going to have to answer for it. That's what Saturn does. For you, Jupiter entering 13, goes direct on the 10th of June. That's right after you have Venus go back into Taurus and right on your Mars. So to me, you're probably going to have everything culminate with more money and selling your house in June. First week of June, I think, is when the money's really going to come rolling and everything's going to start to come together. So,
well, see, I think if we haven't sold it by then, I think my husband would be more willing to rent it. Because that's a lot of time when a lot of people move, because of their kids, their school, and whatnot.
Yeah, summer people are coming in.
Yeah, if we don't sell it within the first couple of months, he might be more willing to do the rental kind of idea.
And Saturn is in Sagittarius. Honestly, if you're going to sell it, I would sell it before the end of the year. And it sounds like you want to. It's already on the market. But on the 21st
before
of
the
December.
End of the school year?
No, before the end of the year. December 20th is when Saturn goes into Capricorn. And I'm telling you, the housing market's going to go down.
Yeah, right now it's a seller's market, It's definitely, now is a good time to sell it. And like I said, if I don't get it sold within a couple of months, I would really start pushing the idea of renting it more.
Right.
Because we already did put money in. I put a lot of energy into cleaning and painting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, you're going to want to get your money out of it. I would honestly say that because of the Venus retrograde and Jupiter, which rules real estate, retrograde, and Jupiter is retrograde in your house of home and family, which means you're pulling back. Although the moon is within 3 degrees, I think that whatever's going on with this offer is you're not going to be completely satisfied with it, and you're not going to do it. That's what I think. But I think that, who knows, they may come back with another counteroffer, but it doesn't strike me as...
Well, we just found out that the square footage is less than what was listed on the tax roll.
And that's kind of what I was going to say, is they're not going to want to pay as much.
Right. We just found out, and they brought it to our attention, and we pulled these original blueprints and had to redo it, and we're like, oh, my goodness, it's kind of a significant amount, so now we have to list it. to be fair, we do have to list it for a lesser amount. So
yeah.
this is something I just found out today. So I'm like, ugh.
No, that's interesting because I was looking at Mercury going,
it really is smaller.
Mercury, okay, the reason I say a cheaper or lesser money is because Mercury is kind of a cheaper energy. Mercury, associated with Virgo. Virgo is a penny pitcher. So when Venus is retrograde coming up on Mercury is going to, they're going to say, well, I don't want to buy it for that price. And Jupiter is retrograde also, which is the real estate deal, and it's opposing Aries, and that's where Venus is retrograde. So I'm just saying, I think it's probably going to be what you need closer to June. If I had to say that, everything in the chart is saying, you can sell it, you just probably won't sell it till closer to June. And I would honestly say when Mars gets into Cancer, which may be June also, I think it does. Mars goes into Cancer on the 5th of June. Venus will be literally on your natal Mars on the 6th of June. And Venus goes into Taurus on the 6th, 7th of June. And then Jupiter goes direct on the 10th. So that whole week has 4 major aspects in your chart that are more positive for the situation you tell me you're wanting. On top of when Jupiter goes direct, he gets back to 22, I think I said in August, but then he leaves the house of home and family. And that's more likely and then not only does he leave the house of home and family, he's only 1 degree away today, but he's going away from the cusp. He'll get back on the cusp and then immediately hit your Pluto in Libra, and then there will be a major shift coming around the housing situation at that point.
Right.
So, if you want to have a private reading, I could tell you a bunch more. So just let me know. But, I'm going to wrap it up and call her here. But I hope that helps you.
Yeah, it does. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good talking to you. Enjoy the day.
You too. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. 818. Okay, slow. Come on, computer. Oh, I shouldn't hit that before I hit that. Come on. There we go. Okay. Hi, 818. How are you? Diane. Hey, what's up?
You're right. Can I give you my son's birthday? He's trying to buy a house. I'm representing him, and we're not finding that we're getting such responses. It's March 11, 83.
Okay. Happy birthday to him. Just had it.
Yeah. This would be a great present for him and his wife if they get lucky.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you know? Hold on. Where was he born first? I'm going to do it that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tarzana, California.
Okay. Yeah, I have this glitch. I think I've told everybody if I put in the place after the time, it eradicates the date. Okay. What time was he born? Do you know?
1:15 p.m. 1:15.
1:15 p.m. Okay. Let's see if it'll still do it. Yay, it didn't do it. I'm so excited. Okay, so hang on 1 second. I'm just putting in some information so I can find this again. All right, son. There we go. Okay, so what is it that you want to know?
We're in counter offers to purchase a home, but we're not hearing back. So I'm not feeling.
Did you just hear the last call? Same with the last call, pretty much. He's got the Jupiter-Moon conjunction is at the bottom of the chart in his house of home and family. And Venus is retrograde, almost hitting his Mars. And so let's see what that says. So Venus is going to go back into the house of home sales, which is the Sagittarius house or the 9th house. And Jupiter is retrograding away from the change. So let me see here. Is Jupiter the one that, why is my brain not working today? Yeah, Jupiter's the one that goes into Aries, into Scorpio in October. How much does he want to sell this house?
He wants to buy one. He's trying to buy it.
Oh, he's trying to buy one. Okay.
Yeah, and he's given a counter, and they were real slow about responding, and then they gave us one, and we responded, and it's been 3 days we haven't heard, and the agent's not being so cooperative.
Yeah, because there's something going on behind the scenes. Yeah.
Oh,
and all the Pisces energy is there's something going on, and I'm guessing, has he had an inspector on the house?
No, because we haven't even gotten it yet.
Okay, well, I think there's some water damage on this house. Wow. There's some kind of water damage that's hidden. And possibly electrical, too. Huh?
I love that you're saying that, because when we went back to see it, there was a man coming from the side yard with the ladder, and I'm thinking, there is something wrong.
Yeah, there is.
You know, and it was, so it would be better maybe if he doesn't get it. Well,
yeah,
even if we.
Yeah, there's a sun right now. Sun is at exactly the same degree as Chiron, so there's some kind of issue, and also I would even say that the seller is very attached to the house, because the Pisces / Chiron / Sun connection is water, ego, emotions, and wounding. And so there's some kind of not wanting to let the property go, and it's also manifesting, I think, in this water energy, which could also affect the electrical. The water issue is probably affecting the electrical in the house, because Mercury is also in the house. The house is represented to me by the 9th house, which is, even though second is property and the home and family, but this is the energy of real estate sales, and that's where I'm looking in your chart, in the sun's chart. So it's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, it would be water that's probably affecting electrical. So there's something going on. And Venus retrograde, I think he's going to have a change of heart. And again, everybody's trying to do these home sales, buying and selling. When Venus goes retrograde, Venus is going to change her mind. She's not going to feel the same about the property. So she's already retrograde, which would change it once. She'll go into Pisces, which will make her feel like it's not right. Then she'll go direct and go, yeah, my feelings, it's at the end of something, it's like letting it go. Then she'll go back into Aries and go, okay, now I really want to find something that resonates to me. And for him, he has Mars at 11 degrees Aries, and Venus just went over his Mars, which is probably when he made the offer. It's not going to be something that is consistent. It's not going to stay the same property. When Venus gets back to that degree is when he's going to find something. That's
so when will that be?
Hang on a second. I'm looking. I'll look for you. Give me a second here. Venus has to get back to 10 degrees, 11 degrees. It's going to be mid-May. If he can hold off until mid-May, it's almost the same as what I told the other lady, although she had a bunch of stuff triggered by Taurus and Aries. He just has the Aries, which makes it a little sooner for him. So for him, it's going to be a much better energy. I would even say technically don't make the offer until Mercury gets into Taurus, which is 2 days after that. So the 17th of May would be ideal if he could do that, because then Venus is on his natal Mars, and Mercury, which is the offer, the con is in Taurus, which is property. So May 17th, I can just tell you, he's changing his mind about things. And honestly, there may be some issue about not even staying where he's going to stay. I think he may be moving farther away. I don't think he's going to stay in the same area. I think he's going to be moving, and then that will actually be more fortuitous for him to not get something until later.
I love that. You are wonderful. Yeah. You have the best program. God bless you.
Thanks. You're so sweet.
You're just powerful. I say it like it is. Bye, darling. I'll talk to you.
All right, wonderful. It's always good talking to you. Bye, Diane. Have a great day. Stay warm. I know you're probably in California. You probably stay warm.
Oh, it's so hot today. You don't know. I had AC on all day yesterday.
Oh my gosh, I'm opening the windows. My thermometer says it's 57 degrees here, and there's a breeze. So I'm loving it. It's like spring is just staying with us, and I love that, because I'm going to totally draw on these memories in the middle of July.
Yes.
All right, take care, Diane. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Yay, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com.